Greetings. I wanted to share with you, for those who understood that they are suffering from adrenal fatigue, there is the adrenal fatigue diet plan, and I will put the link in the video description. The foods you eat are your first line of defense against adrenal fatigue. The advantage of creating an adrenal supportive diet plan is that it does not involve a trip to the doctor or naturopath, will likely cost you no more than your regular diet, and you will have a host of other benefits for your health too. There are two basic principles to building an adrenal fatigue diet plan. First, you should avoid any foods that will make your adrenal fatigue worse. Second, you should actively try to eat foods that will aid your recovery and eat them in the right way, between parentheses. Among other things, this means eating meals at the right times, consuming lots of nutritious whole foods, and avoiding foods to which you have sensitivities or intolerances. However, this is a broad and complicated subject, so I will try my best to outline the basics on this page. Here are 8 key elements of adrenal fatigue diet. 1. Identify food sensitivities and intolerances. 2. Eat at the right times of day. 3. Eat less sugar, including natural sugar. 4. Eat more protein and fat. 5. Cut out the caffeine. 6. Stay hydrated. 7. Eat nutritious foods like bone broth and seaweed. 8. Enjoy fermented foods. And each of the key elements have a link to it, so you can go check it out. If you want some more detailed instructions, I have created a recipe ebook full of delicious recipes for restoring your adrenal health. It contains more than 50 tasty recipes, including spicy fried chicken livers, etc., etc. I won't read them. This is not my book. You can see a sample page here and purchase the ebook as part of our recipes package. In the link that I will post, all the links will be there. All you have to do is click this one link and you will get the full article with the links in there. Identify food allergies, sensitivities, and intolerances. What are foods? Sensitivity is a big deal if you have adrenal fatigue. They matter because they prevent our bodies from absorbing and using the nutrients they need, as well as promoting inflammation and interfering with our sleep-wake cycle. Food allergies, sensitivities, and intolerances prevent the gut from digesting and excreting our food properly. This is why diarrhea, constipation, and other gut problems are frequently the first signs of an intolerance. They also prevent us from optimally digesting all the nutrients in our foods, leaving us weakened and low in energy. They can also promote inflammation in the gut, which triggers the release of histamine, along with its classic signs of sneezing and coughing, between parentheses. Lastly, by preventing us from digesting our food properly, they can also promote the growth of unhealthy bacteria in our gut, weakening our immune system even further. There are some simple ways to deal with food intolerances and sensitivities. Here is a short list for reference. 1. Avoid the food in question. If you have a clear idea of which foods are causing you problems, then be more careful in avoiding them. If you don't know for sure, you can try eliminating one at a time for a period of at least a week until you have identified the culprit. Food sensitivity testing is also an option. It does tend to be quite unreliable. Rely on it for guidance only. Your own reaction to each food is a much more reliable test. 2. Take supplements to straighten your gut. The most common supplement in this category is glutamine, an amino acid that your intestinal walls use as a fuel source. This aids in the repair and regeneration of the intestinal lining. You can also try demulcent herbs like licorice or slippery elm, which act to coat the intestinal lining and protect it from irritants. 3. Take supplements to improve your digestion. If you are not digesting food well and experiencing symptoms like bloating, gas, diarrhea, and constipation, taking probiotics or digestive enzymes can help. They will allow you digest food more easily and retrieve more nutrients from each food item too. Simple dietary principles. If your diet currently includes lots of processed foods, added sugar and soda, you're not alone. This is what is commonly referred to as standard American diet, and it is a contributing factor to most cases of adrenal fatigue. Improving your dietary habits has to be a crucial part of your recovery. Here are some simple guidelines to follow. Eat at the right times. Too many of us follow a similar unhealthy pattern. Skip breakfast, have a sandwich for lunch, and then a big meal in the evening. If you're looking to make your adrenal fatigue worse, this is a great plan to follow. The importance of breakfast for adrenal fatigue sufferers cannot be overstated. When we sit down at our breakfast tables, we have been fasting for approximately 12 hours. Our bodies need fuel, and they need the right kind of fuel that is going to last us through the morning. At breakfast, you should be eating a high quality source of protein combined with a small amount of high quality carbohydrates. A vegetable omelette or 2 poached eggs with blueberries would be two good examples. A healthy breakfast smoothie packed full of healthy fats would be another. The typical American breakfast packed full of sugary cereals, waffles, and more is exactly what you shouldn't be eating. Also be aware that adrenal fatigue sufferers struggle to maintain optimal blood sugar levels throughout the day. This is because cortisol is intimately involved with blood sugar stability. As a consequence, adrenal fatigue sufferers should focus on eating lots of small meals throughout the day with a maximum of 3 intervals. This will help to reduce food cravings, blood sugar crashes, and stresses on your HPA axis. Foods to eat and avoid. There are a few superfoods that all of us with adrenal fatigue should eat, more on those below, but I also want to lay out some general guidelines on which proteins, fats, and carbohydrates we should be eating. Eating less sugar is a great first step. Excess sugar needs to be controlled by cortisol. So when you eat too much sugar, you're indirectly taxing your adrenal glands. Additionally, the crashes that follow a spike in blood sugar inevitably led to sugar cravings and perhaps even the role of stimulants like coffee to counterbalance the fatigue. Either way, excess sugar is bad news for adrenal fatigue sufferers. You should be aware that sugary snacks and fast food are not the only source of excess sugar. Items like fruit juices are also high sugar foods. Better sources of carbohydrate include vegetables, beans, and whole sprout grains like wild rice or quinoa. Low sugar fruits can also be a great option. Eat more proteins and fats. Getting enough protein is a good way to keep your energy levels high without causing spikes in your blood sugar. Good choices include beef, wild fish, egg, free-range chicken, and good quality protein powders. Always try to buy your meat organic if possible. You can often save money by purchasing them at your local farmers market. For fats, consider foods like avocado, coconut, nuts and seeds, butter, cheese, and other dairy products. Eating enough fat is important and it's a great source of energy, but make sure that your sources of fat are from natural whole foods. The 11 best foods for adrenal fatigue are organ meats, example liver, fish, organic meats, example beef, chicken, eggs, low sugar fruits, vegetables, beans, whole sprout grains, avocado, nuts and seeds, organic dairy products. The 7 worst foods for adrenal fatigue are high sugar fruits, sugary snacks, fast food, processed foods, refined grains, like for instance white bread, dried fruits, and coffee. Cut out the coffee. Caffeine drinks might make you feel great for a short period of time, but they are adding significant stress to your adrenal glands and endocrine system. Caffeine stimulates your adrenals to produce adrenaline and cortisol exactly the same way as they do during a fight or flight reaction. Over time, as your adrenals become depleted, they become less and less able to respond in the same way. Adrenal fatigue sufferers often report that coffee does nothing for me, but this is often due to the fact that repeated stimulation has left their adrenals so depleted that they are unable to respond appropriately. Giving up that morning cup of tea, coffee, or caffeinated soda might sound daunting, but it's an important part of recovering from adrenal fatigue. Many of us experience short-term withdrawal symptoms from caffeine, but they are generally gone within a week. After quitting coffee, most adrenal fatigue sufferers report a more even, consistent energy level throughout the day without any of the crashes associated with caffeine intake. Stay hydrated. It's an easy one. Staying well hydrated is important no matter who you are, but if you're suffering from adrenal fatigue, then it becomes doubly important. You can take it a step further by adding a little sea salt or lemon to your glass of water. Remember that many AFS sufferers have mineral and electrolyte deficiencies between parentheses. Superfoods for adrenal fatigue sufferers. Taking a step beyond the foods to eat and avoid listed above, there is also a small group of foods that can actually help you to recover more quickly from adrenal fatigue. These foods do not form part of the regular Western diet, although they are now increasingly common sights in our supermarkets and kitchens. Bone broth. Before meats became so easy to purchase in the supermarket, our ancestors made use of every single part of the animal. This included the bone marrow, which would provide them with valuable nutrition and which would often be given to sick individuals. Today we can do just the same by making bone broth. Bone marrow has been proven to reduce inflammation, boost the immune system, and encourage healthy cholesterol. It can also provide essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that are easily absorbable in our intestines. Seaweed. Seaweed are rich in minerals and phytonutrients that we might not get from the rest of our diet. They are delicious mixed into a salad or stir fry and can often give a much needed nutritional boost to a meal. Most supermarkets now carry a selection of different seaweed. I would recommend eating a good variety to get the most benefit. Fermented drinks. Did you know that some fermented drinks are really great for your digestive health and immune system? Hint, I'm not talking about beer, between parentheses. Although very popular in some parts of the world, fermented drinks are yet to make much of a dent in the North American market. However, you can sometimes find them in health food stores, and of course you can make your own too. These drinks are rich in minerals and provide a huge boost of good bacteria between commas to improve your digestion and nutrient absorption. Good examples are kombucha and kvass. Thank you for listening. The link will be provided in the video description. Title of it, The Adrenal Fatigue Diet Plan. Among other things, this means eating meals at the right times, consuming lots of nutritious whole foods, and avoiding foods to which you have sensitivities or intolerances. However, this is a broad and complicated subject, so I will try my best. Greetings. I wanted to share with you, for those who understood that they are suffering from adrenal fatigue, there is the Adrenal Fatigue Diet Plan, and I will put the link in the video description. The foods you eat benefits for your health too. There are two basic principles to building an adrenal fatigue diet plan. First, you should avoid any foods that will make your adrenal fatigue worse. Second, you should actively try to eat foods that will aid your recovery and eat them in the right way. Between parents are your first line of defense against adrenal fatigue. The advantage of creating an adrenal supportive diet plan is that it does not involve a trip to the doctor or naturopath, will likely cost you no more than your regular diet, and you will have a host of others to outline the basics on this page. Here are 8 key elements of adrenal fatigue diet. 1. Identify food sensitivities and intolerances. 2. Eat at the right times of day. 3. Eat less sugar, including natural sugar. 4.